All right. Welcome everyone to the El Toro La Liga show. Obviously today it seems like I wouldn't say a quick one, but first of all, I would like to say a couple things. First off, the reason why the show is a bit delayed by an hour. It starts at 7. It should have started at 6. Was because I was doing a bit of errands. I haven't actually gone grocery shopping in a while, so I had to go because I was hungry, so I got myself some food and all for the upcoming week as well. But also, before we get started with the show, I just want to say, descansar en paz, rest in peace to the team doctor of Barcelona. Very unfortunate that has happened, and thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends and everyone at FC Barcelona. In that. But yeah, anyways, let's get into the show. Obviously, you guys can vote in the live poll. Obviously, I have 2 games in the live poll. One of them, well, we'll talk about a couple of them, well, 2 of them later on very shortly. But yeah, I do have Real Valladolid against Celta Vigo and Villarreal against Real Madrid as the 2 potential watch-alongs I could do for this upcoming weekend. I'm doing one only for Saturday because obviously Sunday, a specific team will be playing, not a Spanish club, but yeah, I don't want to mention too much about it because this is a La Liga show. So without further ado, we might as well get started with the games for the upcoming weekend, the final before the international break. And at first, we have Las Palmas against Alavés. Now, obviously, both of these sides in a very bad rut at the moment. I mean, you look at the win probability, 32% for Las Palmas and 37% for Alavés, and the draw here, 31%. This is obviously going to be played tomorrow night on Friday. Now, obviously, we have to scroll all the way down to see both of these teams, and they're both in the relegation zone. So a win for them would get them above the relegation zone, or a draw for Alavés would get them out as well. But yeah, I'll be honest, right? This is a huge game for both of these teams. I think whoever wins this could get some momentum. Obviously, Alavés, they won their previous game. A very surprising 1-0 win over Villarreal, which I didn't expect to happen. And yeah, I'll be honest, it was a really tough game to sort of judge, I would probably say, because Villarreal didn't look that great. But Alavés, to be honest, not amazing, but they got the job done, which was the most important for them. As for Las Palmas, look, they lost. Obviously, I did the watch long when they lost to Betis. They didn't look that great as well. I mean, barely tested Adrian, the goalkeeper. So I'll be honest, like Las Palmas, this whole of 2025 has been absolutely, I'll be honest, fucking shit. They've been probably the worst performing team in La Liga, but obviously they could actually go above the relegation zone potentially with a win, the first win, if they were to get the first win of the year against Alavés, which is possible because they do have a decent home form when they do come up against the sort of like not that great teams, I'll be honest. But away from home, they're terrible. But Las Palmas, look, I'll be honest. The only thing is, it doesn't actually show the key stats heading into the game. But yeah, I just feel like with this game, I have a slight feeling that Las Palmas could actually get their first win. I'll be honest. I don't think they're as bad, like comparatively bad as Alavés. So I'll be honest. I'm actually going with a Las Palmas win. I'm going for a narrow 1-0 win for Las Palmas. I do think that they can get a win here, and the first win of the year 2025, and it'll be a great time just before the international break. So I'll go with a 1-0 win for Las Palmas. I don't know why it doesn't show the timeline or the match stats heading in, but let's move on. We do have the next game on Saturday, the early one, 2:00. We have Real Valladolid against Celta Vigo. Now, obviously, if you want to know what I'm wearing, if I can fucking right there, look right there, biggest club in Galicia. I'm just saying. But yeah, I have to talk about Celta Vigo, unfortunately. But yeah, they do travel to Valladolid for their game. Look, I'll be honest, Valladolid are not that great. They're really bad. I mean, they're all the way at the bottom. I mean, but before I show you where they are, they're bottom. 57% chance of Celta winning and only 19 for Valladolid and a draw 24. But yeah, Celta Vigo practically a good favorite to win this game. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Celta Vigo, if they were to get the win, they would actually go above both Vallecano and Mallorca and up on 39 points with at least a not negative goal difference if they were to win, which would be a huge boost for them, unfortunately. Whereas for Valladolid, look, if they have any hope of surviving, they have to beat Celta. They have to beat Celta on Saturday, because if they lose, that would mean that there's only 10 games left of the season. And obviously, Alavés and Las Palmas play each other. There's a potential they can be like, they're already 11 points behind, but they could be even more, like 12, 13 points from safety. And that practically kills Valladolid's hopes of getting into a potential safety by the end of the season. But with a negative 44 goal difference and conceding 62 goals, there's not even a single team that has even reached 50 in the whole of the league. Like conceding 62 goals is fucking terrible. I will be completely honest. And only scoring 18, that actually puts them one of the worst attacks in the league. Actually, they actually scored the fewest goals of any team in La Liga. So overall, they're just really bad Valladolid. But obviously, if they really want to change their form and change their fortunes, they have to get a win here at home against Celta. And I'll be honest, right? I do think that they might have a chance in this game. Maybe they might score 1 or 2 goals. Maybe they actually bring up their goal difference. But I just think that defense is so bad. But I'll go with a narrow win for Celta, unfortunately for me as a Deportivista. But yeah, I'm actually going with a 3-2 win for Celta. I just think that Valladolid are just terrible. I'll say 3-2 for Celta Vigo, unfortunately. Next up, people, we do have is Mallorca hosting Espanyol. Now, obviously, again, it doesn't show the timeline or the key stats heading into the game. But yeah, looking at this, Mallorca, Espanyol, there's a good opportunity that Mallorca can win here. They can reclaim their 7th place spot that they're currently at. But should Celta get a win, they would have to reclaim it by beating Espanyol. But yeah, only 20% for Espanyol to win and a draw at 28%. Now, I'll be honest, right? Mallorca are one of the teams that draw way too many games. I know they've only drawn 7, but they've drawn like 4 or 5 of the last 7 games, 5, 6, 7 games. Like they're the new draw merchants of La Liga. I'll be honest, especially in recent times. And I wouldn't be surprised if they get a draw against Espanyol. And I'll be honest, right? Espanyol, look, they got a draw in their previous game. Obviously, they didn't play about 10 days ago when they were supposed to play Villarreal away, but obviously that got suspended due to weather. But yeah, Espanyol finally getting the first away game in a while. And I'll be honest, right? I do think that Espanyol have more than enough to actually survive this season. I just think that they'll probably survive, maybe not comfortably, but I think they'll pick up enough. And they're actually on a very decent-ish form for a team that's fighting relegation. They've only lost like one game in the last 5, 6, 7 games, which is actually a pretty good run that they're on at the moment, Espanyol. And I'll be honest, right? I do think that they can pick up a result away at Mallorca. I mean, if a team like Alavés managed to get a draw away at Mallorca, then why can't Espanyol? And I think Espanyol this year have been better than Alavés. I'll be honest. So I'm actually going with a draw here. I'm actually going with a 1-1 draw between the two teams, Mallorca and Espanyol. I'll go with a 1-1. I just think that both of these sides will probably cancel each other out, and it'll probably end in a 1-1 draw. But Mallorca, I wouldn't be surprised if they do get the win. Now the next game, let me just readjust something backstage. Right. Next up, we have is Villarreal against Real Madrid. Villarreal, Real Madrid. Obviously, both of these sides are right now competing for the European places. Potentially could be in Champions League together next season. But look, obviously, I got to watch the game last night when Real Madrid advanced over Atlético Madrid on penalties, despite losing the game, actually. But, it went to penalties. But yeah, actually, it's Villarreal 31%, a draw at 25%, and Real Madrid at 44%. Massive advantage, somewhat. But I wouldn't say a massive, but like a very, very slim margin. And I'll be honest, right? Real Madrid didn't look that great, even over the weekend, and even the game they played this past week. Whereas for Villarreal, they were terrible against Alavés. One of the I was surprised they lost that game because I think I said a Villarreal win. But yeah, Villarreal have been not that great in that game, but they were in a good run of form themselves. I'll be honest, it was their first loss in a long time, but now they could go back-to-back losses, unfortunately, or potentially like that for them. But yeah, I just feel like this game between Villarreal and Real Madrid, it's a bit of a close call, I'll be honest. I do think both of these teams can get a result against each other. And obviously, last season, this game ended 4-4 in the Ceramica, a 4-4 draw. I mean, if you get a 4-4 draw again, that would be fantastic, obviously. This could be one of the live watch-alongs I could do. So obviously, do vote in the live poll. We do have one chat. Let me just bring it up. We have Roma 16K. Big up to you. And obviously, if you haven't voted, please do vote in the live poll which game I should do a watch along this weekend. But yeah, I'll be honest. Do I think Real Madrid? Oh, wait, I hope my internet's good. I don't know what just happened. But yeah, I kind of hope that both of these sides, well, obviously the hope for both of these sides is that they bounce back from their not great performances. But I might go with a Real Madrid win. I just think that maybe the quality might shine through for Real Madrid, and I think they will have a bit of a bounce back in this game. So I'm probably going to predict a 3-1 win. I'll go 3-1 for Real Madrid in this game. I just think that not the quality, but I think Real Madrid will bounce back from not playing well, but obviously they advance. So I'll go with a 3-1 win, and maybe that might re-energize the team ahead of the game on Saturday against Villarreal, which I could do a watch along for. All right. Next up, we do have is Girona against Valencia. Of course, we'll get to Real Betis very soon. So yeah, but yeah, going into this, it's Girona against Valencia. Now Valencia, they got a draw in the previous game. Girona, they're a bit hit and miss at the moment, but yeah, the win probability 48% for Girona, 27% for a draw, and 25 for a win for Valencia. And I'll be honest, kind of have to scroll down because Girona are not in great form. They are probably one of the worst formed teams in La Liga since like February, I think, or like probably like February, I believe. So they're not doing great themselves. I've told a lot of people this. I know maybe a couple people I've said I don't think Girona will have enough to get any European football by the end of this season. I just think that there's at least 7, 8, or even 9, or even 10 teams that I just think that are consistently better than Girona in terms of getting points and results. Now, obviously, Girona and Valencia, believe it or not, have both lost 12 games, and Valencia were practically in the relegation zone. I actually did mistake. They did get a win, actually, in the previous game. But yeah, both of these teams have 12 losses in La Liga this season. But obviously, Girona have not really been in the relegation zone, whereas Valencia, I've been saying this like almost every single show now. Valencia, apart from when they play the top 3 of La Liga, which is obviously Barca, Atleti, and Real Madrid, Valencia are actually unbeaten against everyone else in La Liga. Do I think it will continue? I could see it happening. I'll be honest. I just think that at the moment, Valencia can show a bit of fight, a little bit of grit heading into the games for the remainder of the season. And I just think that maybe they'll get a draw in this one against Girona. And Girona not in great form at the moment. And Valencia, they probably are finding a way to get results and getting it over the line. So I'll probably go with, let's go with a quote-unquote entertaining draw. I'll go 2-2, a 2-all draw between both of these sides. I don't think both are that good defensively. But attacking-wise, maybe they can spring a lot of things up. So I'll go with a 2-all draw in that one. Next up. Oh, it is time. It is time, as Roma 16K said, it is time to talk about Antony. Now, obviously, this wasn't the result last week. They did win. Real Betis are traveling to Leganés for the next game. Now, obviously, at the moment, in terms of the win percentage, 25% for Leganés, only 28% for a draw, and 47% for a Betis win. But if you look at Real Betis, look at that form. 4 wins in a row. They've picked up 12 points in the last 4 games. They've won every game in the last 4 matches. Now, obviously, they do play a bit later tonight, which we can get onto when it happens. But yeah, Betis are in a very good run of form, and they could potentially even go as far as like level on points with Villarreal. And look, Betis, since the GOAT, Antony has come in, they're cooking. They are cooking, Antony and Betis. Meanwhile, same can't really be said about Leganés. Look, they got that win about a couple of weeks ago when they beat the big rivals Getafe, but then Leganés lost the previous game, so it kind of not really helped them and brought them back down to earth. I'll be honest. Just not a great result for Leganés in their case. And yeah, they're fighting relegation, and obviously when you're coming up against the GOAT, Antony, it will be tough for Leganés to try and get themselves back into at least kind of like a comfortable-ish position heading into the international break. They are playing at home, which could be a good benefit, but I just feel like the form of Betis since the GOAT, Antony, has arrived, I just think it will be unstoppable on Sunday when these two teams met. So yeah, in terms of the scoreline, in terms of the result I'm actually going to predict I'll go with a 2-0 win for Betis. I just think that they will have, obviously with the GOAT Antony, they will come out on top in that game. And I'll go 2-0 to Real Betis. Next up, we have here, it's Sevilla against Athletic Club. Now, obviously, both of these teams overall, they've only actually, I'll be honest, I think they've only lost one game. Oh, and we do have some match stats into that, so I can discuss it. But this is going to be a bit long because obviously Athletic Club are playing right now, but I don't know what the result or the scoreline is at the moment. Obviously, they are losing that first leg against Roma Athletic Club. Let me just check. Let me see. Oh, a red card for Roma, but it's still 0-0. So Athletic Club at the moment, as of recording, could potentially be getting knocked out. But yeah, going into this, Sevilla Athletic Club, I think they've only lost one game in the year of 2025 in La Liga. I'll be honest. So look, I'll be honest. When I think about it, Sevilla Athletic Club, and you look, it's practically even, 32, 30, 38. So it's practically even for both of these teams heading into their match against each other. Now, obviously, Athletic Club, maybe not in a good run of form. Obviously, they lost to Atletico Madrid, and then they lost to Roma away in Rome, 2-1 last minute goal. And then obviously they got 1-1 draw against Mallorca, which wasn't great. It wasn't great from Athletic Club. So Athletic Club on a bit of a dip in form. I don't think it'll be enough to get them out of the Champions League places at the moment. But in terms of the Europa League, as far as I know, it's 0-0. So we'll see by the end of the game or whether they advance. I hope they do, obviously. But yeah, Athletic Club in a bit of a dip at the moment. Meanwhile, Sevilla unbeaten in the last 4, though they've been draws. I mean, 27 games, 9 wins, 9 draws, 9 losses. Typical of Sevilla this season. Very inconsistent, but look, they haven't lost. They've only lost one game, and that game was against Barcelona, 4-1 at home, though. But yeah, both of these teams, I could see them getting a draw against each other. I mean, I could see that happening. But do I think there can be an away win for Athletic Club? Maybe. I still think they're good enough to actually get results here, Athletic Club. So I think they will. I think they'll beat Sevilla away. And I'll go with a 2-1 win, but I forgot the timeline. Match stats. Here are some match stats heading into the game. Sevilla are winless in the last 3 meetings against Athletic Club in La Liga. As I said, the longest winless run against Athletic Club in the competition since 2014, 4 games, 1 draw, 3 losses. Athletic Club have avoided defeat in the last 2 away games against Sevilla in La Liga. Last time doing 3 consecutive win or unbeaten results against Sevilla away was actually 3 draws in 1999 to 2002. Now, obviously, following the win in January 2024, which was a 2-0 win, Athletic Club could win 2 consecutive away games against Sevilla for the 2nd time in the history of La Liga, and the first since 1965. So it's going to be a long time since they've done that. So we'll see. Sevilla won the most recent La Liga match, a 1-0 win against Sociedad at the Real Arena, or the Sociedad Stadium, but have yet to win back-to-back games in the competition under the manager of Garcia Pimienta, not Pimiento, which means we call this pepper. He's not pepper, but there could be some pepper spray amongst the Sevilla or Athletic Club, whoever loses. But yeah, and then Athletic Club, who lost the last away game in the league, which was against Atleti, they have not lost consecutive away games since April 2024. So yeah, Athletic Club at the moment, look, not in a great one of form, just very recently. Sevilla, decent-ish. But I will say, I do think that Athletic Club will probably get the win here. I already said 2-1, so I'll stick with a 2-1 for Athletic Club. I just think that maybe quality might shine through here. So I'll go with a win for what do you call this? For Athletic Club. That's what I was going to say. All right. So on to the next game we have is Osasuna against Getafe. Osasuna versus Getafe. Now, obviously, both of these sides. Well, for one, Osasuna, they did not play this past weekend, unfortunately, because they were meant to play Barcelona, but obviously, what happened to the team doctor of Barcelona sadly passing away once again. Descansa in paz, rest in peace. Whereas Getafe, they got an incredible result. They got 2-1 home win against Atletico Madrid, one of Barcelona's rivals for the title. Getafe practically the game barely had anything for the first like 80 minutes until the red card, really, or the first 75 minutes. But yeah, that game exploded, and obviously Getafe got the win. Would I say deservedly? No, but they got the job done, which was important for Getafe if they want to survive. Now the timeline and all that is popping up. All right. But yeah, in terms of the win probability, 41% for Osasuna, 33% for a draw, and 26% for a win for Getafe, which could be back-to-back wins for them, actually. Now we kind of have to slow a bit down. Well, actually, both of them are level on points, 33 points each. Obviously, Osasuna, not really in a great run of form, and they actually have the most draws, I believe, out of any team in La Liga, with 12 draws, and they did get 3 draws in the last 4 and lost the one that they didn't. Obviously, they didn't play Barcelona, so we don't really know whether they could pick up more points there. But yeah, Osasuna, I'll be honest, have been the draw merchants of La Liga, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get a draw here. At home against Getafe. Getafe are okay, but they're not spectacular. I'll be honest, Getafe. That's just my opinion on them. But yeah, despite that, I do think that this could be a potential draw here. But yeah, heading into this game, Osasuna are unbeaten in the last 2 games against Getafe, a win and a draw, having lost each of the previous 3 against Azulones in La Liga. They also scored in each of the last 4, which they haven't gone 5 in a row since the top flight. They've been both of them. After suffering 3 consecutive home defeats against Getafe in 2006 and 2007 without scoring, Osasuna have only lost 1 of the last 11 home games against Getafe, 4 wins and 6 draws, going down 2-0 in September 2022 in the 22-23 season. So quite kind of recent. Osasuna have won just 1 of the last 7 home games in La Liga. As I said, 5 draws, man, and 1 loss. Having won 5 of the previous 6 before that, and our loss there. That also, I believe, included a 4-2 win at home against Barcelona, which we were meant to play this past weekend. But yeah, they're practically draw merchants. Osasuna, they have a decent home form, but they draw too many home games now. Osasuna, which kind of stampled their progression. They were as high as like 5th in the early part of the season, but I did expect them to kind of drop off. Getafe have won 4 of the last 5 away games in La Liga, which is quite incredible. 1 loss. That was against Leganés, believe it or not. Indeed, they have achieved more away wins than any other team in 2025. So they have a good away record now, Getafe. And against Atleti in the previous game, Getafe won a La Liga game that they were losing in the 87th minute of the match for only the 2nd time in their history, following an away win in October 2014, a 2-1 comeback win against Real Sociedad. Now, in the El Sadar, the home of Osasuna, look, I just think draw merchants, and I just cannot see it pass. And I might go with a draw here. I'm probably going with, I could see it being like a 0-0. Both teams just cancel each other out by not scoring, I'll be honest. So I'll go with a 0-0. I'll go with a 0-0 draw between Osasuna and Getafe. So I'll go with a 0-0. That's my prediction on that. Let me just quickly readjust. All right. Now, let me also check the poll right now, after 2 votes, 100. Well, 2 people have said Villarreal, Real Madrid. Next up, we do have is Rayo Vallecano against Real Sociedad. Now, obviously, both of these teams are fighting to get into Europe next season. Obviously, Sociedad do play later tonight away at Manchester United. And obviously, if they win, they will play most likely Lyon, but I kind of hope it's Bucharest. But beggars can't be choosers. But yeah, Rayo, not a great run of form. But look at the win probability: 38% for Vallecano, a draw at 31, and 31 as well for a win for Real Sociedad. Now, believe it or not, if you don't follow La Liga, Vallecano are actually the ones in front in La Liga. Just got a little message. But yeah, Rayo are actually above Sociedad by only 2 points, which isn't that bad. But yeah, both of these teams are fighting for a place in Europe next season. And yeah, it's the same as Sevilla. Rayo Vallecano, 9 wins, 9 draws, 9 losses. Before this 3 losses or winless in the last 4, Vallecano actually were unbeaten in 9 games before that, which was, I think, in La Liga, like their own club record, I believe. But now they've really dipped in form. They could easily be fighting against Villarreal for a potential Champions League spot. Real Sociedad, they're the most inconsistent and one of the most inconsistent teams in La Liga this season. 13 losses. Believe it or not, Sociedad has 13 losses. They have more losses than Espanyol, Valencia, Leganés, and they have the same as Alavés. Believe it or not. That's Sociedad in a nutshell this season. There's I don't know. I just feel like they've always been inconsistent. They're always that type of team, inconsistency from Sociedad. Obviously, they lost 4-0 away at Barcelona, and then they lost at home against Sevilla, who obviously Sevilla are now above them in the league. Look, I'll be honest, I do not know what to expect from Sociedad for the remainder of their games this season. They could beat Vallecano, but they could also lose to Vallecano here. But maybe looking at the timeline and the match stats, let me just bring it up. Here are some pre-match stats heading into the game. Rayo Vallecano have gone 6 home wins without a win against Sociedad, 4 draws, 2 losses, since 2013 under Paco Emez, which was a 1-0 win. The longest winless run at home against Los Donostiarras, which is basically the name of Sociedad, basically, in the top flight. Real Sociedad have lost only 1 of the last 8 away games against Vallecano in La Liga, 3 wins, 4 draws. So it's, as I said, a very good record they have at Vallecas. Following a 2-1 win at the Real's Arena at the start of the season, which I remembered, Rayo Vallecano could do the double in a single La Liga season for the first time or second time in their history after 2013-14, which was when the last win, actually, against Sociedad. Now, Rayo Vallecano have not won any of the last 4 La Liga games, as I said, and could go 5 without winning the competition for the first time under their manager, Inigo Perez. And finally, Sociedad have lost the last 2 La Liga games, failing to score in both. They've not gone 3 consecutive since December 2021. So look, both teams not in a good run of form, but I do think there will be a winner. But let me get a drink of water. Maybe you'll quench my thirst. And it has given me some insight. I do not think Vallecano will do the double, unfortunately. I'm actually going with a Sociedad win here. I just feel like maybe the away form of Sociedad. Well, I mean, I can't judge Sociedad in anything now. Look, I'll be honest, I kind of hope Vallecano win, but I'm going with my head because that's what you usually have to do. Go with the head. Yeah, I just feel like Sociedad might get the win. I'm going with I'll go 1-0. 1-0 win for Sociedad. That'll be my prediction. 1-0 for Sociedad. Let me just quickly readjust as we preview the final game of the weekend. Let me just readjust. Yeah, the final game of the weekend just before the international break. It is the big one of the weekend. I'm not doing a watch on because I have something to do on Sunday. It is Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona. A huge, huge game. Now the win probability 31% for Atleti, 26% for draw, and 43% for Barcelona. So kind of overwhelming. But yeah, both of these sides in the top three, only separated by 1 point, albeit that Barcelona do have that game in hand. Obviously, they didn't play last week due to what happened to the team doctor. As I said, descansar en paz, rest in peace. But yeah, Barcelona and Atleti, the game, the most recent game in all competitions ended in a 4-4 draw. And before that, Atleti beat Barcelona at the Montjuic 2-1 just before Christmas, just before a bit of a break. Now here, this could be another bit of a break here. But Atleti not in a good run of form. Obviously, they lost to Getafe, whereas Barcelona, who knows what would have happened with the Osasuna game, but they're still top, and they could go and continue their winning run still at this moment in time. So some timeline, some pre-match stats to look forward to. Atletico Madrid won their last La Liga game against Barcelona 2-1, as I said, just before Christmas. Having lost their previous 5 against them beforehand, they have not won both games in a single campaign since 2005-06. So it will be a huge, huge statement if Atleti were to win at home against Barcelona. Now, after enjoying consecutive wins while conceding at home against Barcelona in 2020 and 2021, Atletico have lost their last 2 games against Barcelona without scoring. On one occasion, they have gone 3 or more home games without scoring against Barcelona in the top flight. That was like back in the 60s. Barcelona have avoided defeat in the last 3 away games against Madrid sides this season. 2 wins and a draw, all under Hansi Flick, while they have not done so in 4 successive away games against Madrid teams since 2019 under the current Athletic manager Ernesto Valverde. So look, Barcelona has a good away record in Madrid. Not Real Madrid, but they did beat Real Madrid 4-0. But yeah, they're now traveling back to the other big Madrid team in Atleti and could be looking for their first win against them this season, because obviously they do play them once again later, early next month. Atletico have not lost any of the last 14 home games in La Liga this season, 10 wins and 4 draws. The last time they did not lose any of their first 15 games in the campaign was in 2017-18, where they played 17 games, the first 17 games, which was practically this season, with 12 wins and 5 losses. Obviously, they got a loss ultimately in the 18th game. And finally, Barcelona have won each of the last 6 La Liga games, keeping a clean sheet in 4 of them. This is after they won just 1 of the previous 8 beforehand with 3 draws and 4 losses. So look, Barcelona's form at the moment doing pretty well. Obviously, they just advanced to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, where they will play Borussia Dortmund, whereas Atletico, look, I'm not really going to talk about it, controversially eliminated by the big rivals in Real Madrid. Atletico are out of all competitions, minus the Copa del Rey, which they do play Barcelona at home again as well. So look, this is like a dress rehearsal. Well, it's not really a dress rehearsal, because if they win, they go above Barcelona. But look, in my opinion, I don't know what to expect from this game. It could go either way. But I'll be honest, I could see it being like a 3-0. I don't know if I want to say 3-0 Barca. I don't know. I'll go I'll go 3-1. I'll go 3-1 for Barcelona. I just think that that loss to Real Madrid probably really, really, really hurt Atletico and their confidence. I just have that feeling. And I feel like Barcelona will head into the international break with a good bit of cushion ahead of Atleti, at least in the title race. So yeah, those are my what do you call this? My La Liga preview. Now, obviously, it is time for the El Toro de la Semana, the Bowl of the Week. Now, I have to quickly remind myself some of the results. Oh, I do remember. It's in the title. He's in the title of this stream. It is Arambarri. Arambarri is the El Toro de la Semana for scoring 2 late goals against Atletico to really, really hamper the Atletico fans' hopes of winning La Liga. So yeah, that for me, Arambarri of Getafe is the El Toro de la Semana, the Bowl of the Week, the main man of the weekend, basically. Now, so I guess congratulations to him for winning that sort of award by me. And now it is time. Let me just quickly share my screen if I can. Now it is time to kind of review a bit of the Segunda. Now, as I said, I tell people the Segunda is the best league in the world. It is the best league in the world in terms of second tier football. Now, before we look at the table, let's look at the results this past weekend. There were 2 games on Friday. Eibar beat Almeria, a very good win for Eibar. And obviously, Deportivo La Coruña, my team. Look, I did watch this game. I didn't do a watch on, but I did watch the entire game. In my opinion, we were okay. But I just feel like we just lack a bit of clinical edge sometimes. Like we could score 5 against Cadiz away, but then we could just score 1 at home against Cordoba, which is crazy. But at least we didn't lose to them like we did earlier in the season. So a draw, it's okay. It's okay as a Deportivista. Now, probably a couple of the big ones. Mirandes, right now, because of this win over Oviedo, Oviedo back-to-back losses, Mirandes are top of the Segunda. They are top of the Segunda. Who would have thought? And then obviously we had Elche winning 3-1 at home against Castellón. So Elche are also pushing for that automatic spot. Sporting Gijon got a 1-1 draw at home against Racing Santander. So not great from Santander, trying to get into the promotion spots. Now this. Before I speak on Zaragoza, this is a bottle, right? A big bottle. They are potentially the biggest bottle jobs ever. Let me just drink a bit because my throat is hurting. This, in my opinion, is Real Zaragoza. I'll show you guys the league table, but how do you lose at home to Eldense? Now I know Eldense are in a decent run of form themselves, but mate, Real Zaragoza are one place above they are above the relegation zone by themselves. They are the team in, I think it's in 18th. They are the last team that can potentially survive. Real Zaragoza lost 4-2 at home against Eldense. I'll be honest, right? I'll be fucking surprised if they actually get relegated. That would be disastrous for a club like Real Zaragoza. And I've obviously seen Deportivo get relegated and all that. Malaga have been relegated. So there's been big teams that have been relegated. But Jesus Christ. Zaragoza could be the next one. They're all over the place at the moment. Anyways, Tenerife actually got a surprise 2-0 home win against Huesca. Now, I don't think Tenerife will survive the drop, but yeah, good win for them. And Huesca, a bit stopped. They got stopped in the tracks of getting that top two at the moment. Cadiz getting a 2-0 away win against Malaga, so decent win for them in an Andalusian derby, you can say that. Levante, comfortable 3-0 win against Cartagena, bottom side Cartagena, who are on only 15 points after 30 games, I believe, or more than that, maybe. And then obviously Granada beating Racing Ferrol, same thing as Levante, pretty comfortable in the end. And then obviously a big one, Burgos getting a 1-0 win at home against Albacete. So Burgos, who were in a similar position of potentially getting relegated, they've got back-to-back wins because actually, I did not show you guys, but in the midweek as well, if I remember. Oh, actually, I'm not sure if I discussed this, but yeah, they actually got back-to-back wins, Burgos, away at Ferrol, no surprise, and at home against Albacete. Now, just quickly, the games to look forward to, hopefully it shows up all. Real Oviedo against Elche tomorrow is a big one. Racing Ferrol, another Galician club, but they're gone. They're gone. Albacete against Malaga, looks all right. Could be a draw, honestly. Draw merchants. Cartagena against Burgos. You probably will expect Burgos to win. Almeria, Zaragoza, mate, both Almeria are fucking shit in terms of their form right now, but Zaragoza are just as shit. So, I don't know. Hopefully a 5-5. I don't know. Cordoba against Sporting Gijón. I don't know. Look, Cordoba could actually pull something off. Gijón kind of drifting away from that promotion spots. Eldense are hosting Miranda, so that could be a decent-ish game. Two clubs that are different fortunes, but at the moment, could have a good, decent outlook. Racing Santander have to really bounce back at home against Tenerife on Sunday. Huesca hosting Levante, that is probably a big one. Both clubs kind of wear the same colors of shirts, home shirts. So yeah, that's going to be a big one for them. And then obviously you have two teams that were relegated from La Liga last season, Cadiz and Granada, playing each other. And obviously Deportivo, we traveled to Castellón. Actually, both of us were the winners of the Primera Ref in each of the groups we won. Group 1, Castellón won Group 2, but we did beat them in the sort of the playoff for the title, but we did beat them at home as well back in December, a couple games before Christmas, with a big win. I think we beat them 5-1. I think we beat them 5-1 at our home. So I could see us getting a win. Knock on wood, because sometimes I'm never confident in us. You never know, right? But now, let me show you guys, if I can, the table. Let me quickly zoom in. Now, here's the table for the Segunda at the moment. Hopefully it works like that. Perfect. Hopefully. Yeah, this is the Segunda table at the moment, people. Look at this. Look at this. Miranda's never played in La Liga ever. Sorry. They've never played in La Liga ever in their entire history, and Miranda's are top on 54 points. And then they, obviously, as I said, first and second get automatic promotion, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth do a playoff. So it's Miranda's, Levante. Mate, if I try to remember, I think it was Racing and Huesca that were in the top two. Now they're both in fourth and fifth. Actually, Levante, Elche, and Racing Santander, all of them are on 53 points. Huesca are on 51. And Real Oviedo, back-to-back losses for them. Not great, but obviously they could still, they could somehow still bounce back. But yeah, they're in sixth at the moment on 50 points. Almeria are behind them, 3 points behind on 47. Granada and 46. And then a bit, I don't know. Right now, Cordoba, obviously we drew against them in the previous game last Friday. They're in 9th at the moment. In 10th, we have Cadiz. And then here we are, Deportivo La Coruña. We're in 11th at the moment. Not amazing, but look, 30 games, we have 10 wins, 10 draws, 10 losses. This is the perfect Deportivo La Coruña, whereby we are inconsistent. Perfectly inconsistent. But we're all level in points with Sporting Gijón, who have drawn literally every single motherfucking game. They're like Malaga, who will score down in a bit. Eibar picking up a big win as well, as I said, back-to-back wins for them actually. Castellón, who we play this coming weekend, are just a point behind us, but only like 3 places behind us. You also have Malaga, also on 39, but they're practically like Sporting and Malaga. They're like draw merchants, picking up draws every game, even though Malaga didn't draw the previous game. Burgos, because of back-to-back wins, they're on 39. Albacete, 37, not bad, but could be worse. And then I know they're just a point behind. I could still pick up back-to-back wins or something like that, but Zaragoza are literally above the relegation zone. Let me show you guys. As I said, the bottom 4 get relegated, which means it is not problem solved. Zaragoza are only 2 points ahead of Dens, who they lost 4-2 at home. That is a sign that they could fucking get relegated, but who knows? But yeah, Dens are in that relegation zone, but they have won 3 of the last 4 games. So look, it's not looking good for teams above that thought that maybe they might survive the drop. No, it seems like there will be a big battle in the final 12 games of the season, including this weekend. So yeah, Eldense really putting themselves back in contention, obviously under their new manager as well. Whereas the bottom 3, which is Tenerife on 22, Racing Ferrol also on 22, and Cartagena on 15. Mate, Cartagena, Ferrol, and Tenerife, I'll be honest. I know Tenerife won against Huesca in the previous game, but do I think they'll survive? No. So that means Racing Ferrol won't and Cartagena won't. I do think those 3 will go down. I think it's really between Eldense and everyone above. It could be anyone. Hopefully, mate, I don't want to even speak it into a fucking existence because that'll be terrible. But yeah, that's the Segunda. That's the Segunda table, everyone. Now that's the end of the show. It's been a good show. Obviously, I am not doing one next week, obviously because it's the international break, so there's not really anything to preview. I will be doing some live watch longs. Now, let me also end the poll. 2 people voted, but it is 100%, so it's not split. So I will be doing, if you see it, I'm doing Villarreal against Real Madrid on Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Spain time. So I will be doing that on Saturday. That's the next time I'm going live. 6:30 p.m. Saturday is Villarreal against Real Madrid live watch along. Now, I don't have anything planned yet. I don't know on Sunday. I'll see. And then obviously I'll be doing 2 or 3 live watch longs for the international break. Right now I have scheduled is Australia against Indonesia. I have Brazil against Colombia and Moldova against Estonia, just because it works my schedule. But yeah, potential big plans, potentially, not sure, I can't guarantee yet, but some potential big plans on the channel during the international break. But yeah, before we round up and finish this show, let me just quickly just big up to the one person in the chat, but obviously 2 people voted. So big up to Roma 16K. Now, before I end the show, let me actually check the Europa League at the moment for Athletic Club. All winning. They're all winning as by the end of this stream at the moment. Nico Williams, thank God. And it seems like Athletic Club are really dominating Roma at the moment. And obviously Roma got the red card with Max almost getting sent off. That's Athletic Club. I could quickly just predict. For Sociedad away at Man United, I don't know. I think maybe like 1-0 Man United, typical of Sociedad to not beat Man United. And then Betis 17-0 against Victoria de Guimarães in the Conference League. Both of them playing in about an hour from now. But yeah, that's it for the show. Thank you guys so much for watching. As I said, I'll be doing a live watch long for Villarreal against Real Madrid on Saturday, 6:30 p.m. And until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.